On today's episode of the Halloween 365 podcast, grab your good luck charms as we take a tour of the most notorious cursed movie sets.
It's coming. Leave me alone. He doesn't believe me. Don't you know what happens on Halloween? Yeah, we get candy.
Halloween 365 podcast.
The only podcast where it is horror 24/7 and Halloween 365.
Oh, as always, I am Chad, joined by Justin and Jeremy, who are in a room together in an insane asylum. I don't know what's going on over there. What is this?
It is an insane asylum.
It is?
It is! It is! Oh! And we have 177 days until Halloween. And something that's even nicer than that, we've got 138 days until autumn.
Ooh, that's coming. That's coming. It's not even summer yet, but it's coming.
Oh, God! Yeah, which means, that Harvest Festival that we're all looking forward to. No, dude. Fuck your Harvest Festival. We still haven't done that episode. It's coming.
Boys, and we are inching towards episode 100, which is coming very, 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 very soon. And I don't know what else to say about it. I'm excited. Don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know. It's got me tingling in places.
Did you pay for the clown? Because
I'll get back to you on that. I'll get back to you.
But all we know to say to you guys is stay prepared. I had something better in my head. It's stay alert. Stay alert.
Oh God, yeah. Stay alert. Well,
we don't have to pay for a clown. We can just take me back to 2022.
What the hell happened in 2022?
Life.
It's a story for another time, I suppose.
My clown
but
days.
I do have some pretty cool Halloween news. Are you guys ready for some Halloween news?
Oh, I've been jonesing.
Right.
Been jonesing.
You've been jonesing for it. Well, Jones no more.
You know.
Boys, you're Beetlejuice fans, right? You're Beetlejuice fans. I'm a Beetlejuice fan.
The original, yes.
Love it. And the cartoon.
Well, sandworms, I hate them.
Yeah.
Sandworms, all right, that's fine. No, we're all a little indifferent. So, Danny Elfman. marketing campaign for Cloverfield 2. Yep, I'm a big Cloverfield guy. I love me some kaijus. Back in 2007. Oh,
We've got a
what?
special connection with.
We do. We have
The three of us have a special connection with Cloverfield.
We do. Back in 2007, they had the marketing campaign for Cloverfield. If you didn't know,
It was pure genius.
it was off the fucking hook. I've never seen a marketing campaign since.
It got you to not only want to watch the movie, but to be a part of the fucking thing.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so cool. So cool. Movie contest. It was awesome. I don't know how else to describe it. You just had to be there. This is one of those moments.
Yeah, they put out a contest for everybody to do it from their point of view, because that's what all of Cloverfield was. So for us to grab a camera and do it from our point of view, like we were being attacked in our town, and we submitted it, and whoever won got to go to the red carpet event, which we had tried to do, and
Yeah, we
obviously
tried.
did not get to go.
A very similar contest was held with Diary of the Dead, if you guys remember correctly.
Yeah, well, we tried that one too.
We tried that one too, but we were kids. I wish I knew then what I know now. I know.
Well,
But anyway,
if you knew then what you know now, then we would have fucking probably gotten it.
maybe we may have. Damn. But anyway, the Slusho website's back up. Slusho was a big integral part of the Cloverfield franchise, even though it's only briefly mentioned. It was almost like the catalyst that moved this weird backstory forward for the Cloverfield movie, and it's back up. So they're teasing something. There's a sequel on the way, maybe? I don't know. They've been saying for years they want to do a part 2.
Would it be a sequel? Oh God, I hope they do. We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
Oh, dude, yeah, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Oh, no, wait.
do
Will
it
we
again.
win though? There's TikTok kids that can fucking.
It'll probably be, yeah. Well, I don't know,
It'll be
but
rough, boys. It'll be rough. So wait. If it's a sequel, the only thing that I'm going to accept, because they've pumped out other stuff that's part of the storyline. So the only
Correct,
thing I'm going to
yeah.
accept is if they do a sequel right after New York.
that's the rumor. The rumor is it is the sequel to the original movie, like a direct sequel.
So this is like,
And that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
so like Cloverfield Lane's supposed to be the first one, technically.
If we're going in weird, it's Cloverfield paradox that creates the paradox.
Okay.
One Earth gets the monster, one Earth gets the aliens.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how it all happened.
So wait, is Cloverfield Lane and is that two different planets? That
Two different
North-
Earths. It's Earth Dimension A, Earth Dimension B.
Right. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Cloverfield Lane thing is what's happening on one Earth, and then
Mhm.
one Cloverfield monster in the middle of New York is what's happening on the other Earth.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because in Paradox they opened up a rift to another
Yeah,
dimension.
in Paradox it shows that it's not just New York. There's those
Exactly.
monsters all over the fucking planet.
Yeah,
And
and they're
big
huge.
ones. Like that's a
Yeah,
goddamn
there's-
baby. That's a
they're
baby.
like huge. Oh, I'm so excited! I love the Cloverfield series. I think
I didn't watch
they're really
Cloverfield
charming
Lane.
movies.
You didn't watch it either?
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. John Goodman killed it.
Was
he
it like
plays.
Spliced?
It was like
Splice? Sorry for all the northern people. Splice?
Splice. It was like
Splice?
I don't know. It was like kind of reminded me of Fallout in a lot of ways, because the movie takes place entirely in a bunker, and the whole time you're hearing John Goodman say, "Well, there's monsters out there,"
Yeah, he
but
just-
nobody believes him. But then eventually, she escapes, and well, there's monsters out there.
But were there
So he was
monsters
telling the
whenever-
truth.
Were there monsters whenever he locked her in there, though?
Yes. Like,
So he wasn't just. It wasn't just like happenstance that he was kidnapping and then all of a sudden.
yeah,
monsters.
I mean, he did kidnap her, and he was a sick motherfucker, but there were also monsters at the same time.
Okay.
So it's really cool. It's really cool. Anyway, looking forward to that. Moving right along. Boys, I'm in the spirit of Halloween. They are coming back with a few fan favorite animatronics this year. We're talking about the Fogging Gargoyle. You can hook up your own fog machine to this device for a whopping $300. This device has not been seen since 2017.
I know, and I want it. I wanted it then. I want it now. I want one on both of the bedposts at the bottom of my bed. That way you can like hit
How
the button
big are they?
whenever you're fucking, you got smoke rolling everywhere.
It's like, hello, ladies. You can just
Veruca Salt. He don't care how he wants it now.
No, I'm just saying it would be really cool. And like if
it would be cool.
you're
It would be.
showing somebody your bedroom for the first time, you like anybody can turn on LEDs, right? But you have a fucking you got gargoyles shooting fog out.
A gargoyle.
They probably not want to enter your bedroom.
It depends on who you bring back.
Goth mommies.
If
You hear us.
if you bring back a listener from this podcast, then they damn sure would appreciate the fog and gargoyles at the bottom of your bed.
They would appreciate the fog and gargoyles.
Yeah.
Also coming back this year for the first time since 2017 is Menacing Molly. You can pick her up for a whopping $190. Menacing Molly, if you haven't seen the animatronic, it's almost like a Wednesday Addams that's on a swing set that will do
she's back. Okay.
like a bend
Great.
back, like she bends. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Little porch decor if you're into that sort of thing. And then last but not least, there is the cotton candy cocoon from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Dude,
not a
it's
fan
super
of this
fucking
movie,
cool.
but it's
I don't
cool.
like the movie,
Like,
but that is cool. Could you
it is
imagine
cool. It
having
looks
like
awesome.
three of those hanging from your porch that
Or a tree.
they're just moving, or out of your tree?
Yeah, no, that would be really fucking
You
cool.
don't have those.
That would be badass. We got some trees, but nothing strong enough to hold up a cocoon, probably. Yeah.
Cacti. You can hang it on
Yeah.
a cacti.
I can hang it on a cacti. Last little bit of news I have for us today. This is kind of big news, and it's kind of a little bit late, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. You can do your research. I did my research. I found mixed answers on this. So, Halloween 45 Years of Terror franchise reunion tickets have gone on sale. This began kicking off last week with John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween classic. Nick Castle has been announced to be at the event, which is really cool. The shape from 1981's Halloween 2, Dick Warlock, our boy Dick Warlock's coming. And the third official guest has been director and also shape actor Tommy Lee Wallace from Halloween 3. It's pretty interesting. So, kind of cross that off your bucket list if you wanted to meet the director of Halloween 3 and Michael Myers at the same time. There you go. You got Tommy Lee Wallace in the house.
I guess
It's pretty cool.
If you're really wanting to meet the director of Season of the Witch,
I mean,
I
I would. It would be cool. Halloween 45 Years of Terror is set to take place September 29th through October 1st at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California. So those tickets are on sale at Halloween45.com. I read that they are sold out, but I've also heard that there's a potential possibility that there's...
wait, when were they?
Yeah,
announced?
apparently last week, I don't know. Like, when I was doing my research, basically gone. And I'm like, ah. So maybe they'll come back. Just keep your eyes peeled. Go to that website. There's a possibility that it might not be too late. I don't want to...
Interested, everybody. You might want to pick up them tickets soon if you're interested.
Yeah, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but, you never know. Anyway, that wraps it up for my Halloween news. Does anybody else have anything they would like to contribute before we move on?
Oh yes. I've got two things here. One of them to any Resident Evil fans, especially Resident Evil 1 fans of the mansion. We're gonna have a link up this week in our Halloween 365 and our Happy Haunting Instagram stories. Tour the Spencer Mansion in creepy detail with this fan remake of the Resident Evil mansion. So it's a very detailed video, kind of giving you a walkthrough of the mansion. And I haven't seen the full video, but everything I've seen of it so far looks fucking phenomenal. So I'm looking, So any Resident Evil fans,
You do have another piece of news for.
I've got some news that our buddy Chad's gonna love.
I've been waiting for this. What is
Terrifier is being re-released, theatrical, 700 theaters nationwide. To any of you Terrifier fans, I know I'm not one. And I've not even seen the movie.
700 screens.
Fuck them. If you like Terrifier, I'm sorry. I just can't get behind it. It's not. I love B movies, man, but that movie's just not my cup of tea.
See, I've not seen it, but I know you and I have the same taste of B movies, and if you're saying it's not good, I'm not going to waste my time.
You might like it. I don't know. I thought it was just kind of. There are movies that have.
Yeah, he should check.
You might like it.
I might like it.
There are movies that are
cheese shit that y'all like.
This is like. There's good cheese, and then there's bad cheese. And then there's annoying shock factor. This movie's just annoying shock factor. It's trying to be edgy, but it's not. It's that Fromunda cheese. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I just don't like it. To each their own, though. I'm not going to judge you. You like what you want to like, but I don't like it. Anyway.
Yeah. That's all the news on our end.
Well, that about wraps it up for the news. Now I think it's time to move on to another little segment that we have called...
It came from Reddit.
That's right, it came from Reddit. I believe it came from Reddit, at least.
Been a while since we've done these. The hot sheets have been blowing up, so Jeremy and I have been covering the hot sheets.
Yeah, the hot sheet seems to be a bustling and busy place, but I figured I'd reel it back a little bit. Well, let's talk about some stories.
That's fine, because next week, whenever we finally do the hot sheets, then it's going to be packed fucking full.
Things have been popping off left and right, and it seems like it takes no time for new stuff to come down the pipeline.
Yeah.
I figured we'd get a little personal today, dive into some Reddit users out there who have some true scary, terrifying stories.
Chad, you should explain for the people who don't know what It Came From Reddit is.
If you don't know what It Came From Reddit is, it's a lovely little segment where we search the deep confines of Reddit and we try to find true, exciting, exhilarating horror stories that someone has experienced. And then we, amongst ourselves, debate whether or not it is a true story or maybe just some bullshit that was exaggerated on the spot. I think that about sums it up. Let me ask you boys a question. You know how to clean up blood?
Well, it's Norman taught me how. It's a little hard.
Where are you going
Well,
with this question?
so-
Who's asking?
Posted just 11 days ago by Reddit user The Local Geek, how I learned to clean up blood. All right. Are you guys ready for this one?
Must have been that time of the month.
The Local Geek writes, I'm a 19-year-old female who is renting...
That 36%.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We love you.
The Local Geek writes, I'm a 19-year-old female who is renting a place with my friends. It had been 3 days since moving into my new place, and I was home alone for the week. Everything was pretty normal, and I did my routine check to make sure that all my doors and windows were locked before heading to bed. I woke up at 1 a.m. to someone banging and screaming and yelling at my door. I couldn't tell what they were saying because their words were all slurred, but I could tell it was a man. Now, automatically here, what do you do? I mean, I don't like being woken up out of a dead sleep. I just don't like being woken up out of a dead sleep personally, but, you know, I don't know. It's that's scary to me. That's nightmare fuel to me.
I'm gonna look and see who it is, and
if they're banging and screaming,
to be honest, I sleep with like a knife beside a big knife beside my bed. So like if I heard it, I'm going to the door with it.
I think somebody's getting shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could also hear a female verse, so I knew he wasn't alone. I hid in my room with the blind shut and the bedroom door locked while I called the police. They left while I was calling because they thought that no one was home, so I asked the police to come by anyway, just in case. When they arrived, I went to the front door to answer, and when I opened it, it was covered in blood. It was splattered everywhere and began pulling at the base of my door. The policeman asked me to no longer touch the door due to evidence purposes and to talk to him from the side door or any of my windows in the house. There was so much blood that I thought someone was murdered at my doorstep. They weren't breaking in, but maybe calling for help. The policeman called for more police, and they searched the area with dogs and found absolutely no one. They later determined that the blood was actually, any guesses?
Pig's blood.
I'm gonna say fake blood.
Fish blood. It was fish blood. Yeah. Now, see, this is where it gets a little weird. I talked to my neighbor, and this was our first time meeting the next day, who had taken a video. Yes. You couldn't see their faces, and this is from the neighbor's, I guess, security camera. You couldn't see their faces, but I found out it was actually two girls and a man holding a bag which contained whatever it was that was drenched in blood on my porch. One of the craziest nights in my life. So, the police officers wished me luck on cleaning it up, and then I started to dive into it the next morning. I did some Googling on how to clean up blood, baking soda and vinegar, apparently, and went to the grocery store the next morning to get the supplies. She didn't want to risk touching the blood, and the cashier continued to give her very, 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 very strange looks. And yeah, so that is how Local Geek learned to clean up blood.
Sounds fishy.
Sounds a little fishy. What do you think? Do you think that maybe it was more than that? Like, what do you think these people are wanting with fish blood?
The two girls
at the door?
and a guy reminds me of The Strangers.
Yeah.
Kind of does, yeah. Like, who wants to come to a house doing a fish fry at 2 a.m.?
Well, see, I've been seeing a lot more videos as far as people like who have doorbell cameras, and there are people like at 2 a.m. showing up and acting wild. So I mean, they could have been on drugs with a bag of fish and thinking it was their friend's house.
Have you seen
Bobby? Open up!
Have you seen that girl on the door on the Ring camera where she's with the Girl Scout cookies?
Yeah.
She's like, "Don't you want cookies?"
And they're like, "Get the fuck away! You're scary."
She goes, "Oh, you want cookies?"
Open the door. Open the door.
We don't want no cookies. She said they're free. He said, "How are you selling them for the Girl Scouts?"
I'd be like, "Bitch, if you ain't got tag-alongs, you get to fucking walking."
Jesus Christ. I don't know. This type of shit really makes me like, I have a fear of home invasion. Like, I think that, to me, that's absolutely scary. Like,
I don't have that fear.
Those are some of the scariest types.
Fear, don't you?
Out here, you kind of do, because, man, I can go on a late night walk or anything like that. Like, I like to walk around my neighborhood right when the sun's going down, because it's the only time in Arizona that you can really fucking do that without scorching to death. Mm-hmm. And you just see some fucking freaks come out at night, man. Like some weirdos. And
freaks come out.
That fucking ain't right, they do. And I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, get a security door, get a security screen, and whatever else you can to keep these motherfuckers at bay, because they are out there, they are weird, they are wild, and just because they haven't done it yet doesn't mean that they won't.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I mean, I feel you kind of with that too, because like I live in a hollow, or as they say around here, a holler, and during the summertime, there's always people. I guess I don't know if they're just wanting to find a place to go drive and fuck or go drive and smoke, but there will be random cars come down there, and then I'll have to go, "Hey!" and they're up on top of my hill, and then they start their car and turn around. So it is scary, like, to think, "Oh, what are they doing? Are they parked?"
It's a little weird.
Yeah. So I can understand that fear.
Yeah, I've always, I don't know, maybe I'm a dick. Maybe I just don't like people, but I don't know. That to me just seems a little weird.
So wait, what's
I
our
don't fucks with
determination
it.
on this? Are we determining the fact that they're full of shit or not?
I think that so this is my big thing. So this one was a little different. Like I said, this was a little more interpersonal, I guess. I think the individual's telling the truth, but I feel like maybe the police may have softened the blow a little bit on this one. Like maybe they didn't know what this blood was or something. Maybe they're just determining that's fish blood just to kind of keep her at ease a little bit. Maybe this is
That's weird.
ongoing. I don't know.
Those tests aren't automatic. Like, how long did she let the blood stay dried?
See, now that's what gets me.
Did they let her clean it as soon as they got a sample?
I'm sure they would. They ain't gonna keep it there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that they.
And I feel like it's a little weird that they didn't further question her. Like, I mean, did they look at the security footage? Maybe. I would assume.
Anything came.
I don't know. There's a lot of.
There's
There's a lot of weird
she
things.
didn't go into enough details to mention as if they questioned the neighbor. I mean, I believe she's telling the truth as far as the intentions of the people, or especially with the police. I feel like they just kind of shrugged it off. But as far as the intentions of the people, if somebody, they're either on drugs or they were trying to get in and do something. Like something doesn't make sense there.
I'm gonna say
There's something off.
I'm gonna say that she's full of shit, and this was for upvotes on Reddit.
Okay. You know what? Let's see. She's only got 20 upvotes on this. And this is a pretty big community. So
Is that a 2 against 1?
Yeah, it's 2 against 1. I'm gonna die on this hill.
2 against 1.
If she's got anything, if she's got any proof, she can definitely come in and submit it. Halloween365@yahoo.com, all spelled out. Halloween365. Send us the proof, and then I'll retract my statement. But until then, I believe that you're full of shit. I think that
It's fair enough.
a made up story.
I think that's fair enough. If you have any spooky stories that you would like to submit to us, also send them to that email.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a Reddit story of something that you've stumbled across, also send that to us. We'll always take a look. We'll analyze with a fine-tooth comb.
You don't have to send them on email. You can send them on Instagram. That would be fun too.
That's true. You can send them on Instagram
Yeah.
or Twitter.
Twitter's back in the
Just
line.
let us know. But until next time, this has been
It came from Reddit.
well. That was a juicy dactyl, wouldn't you say so yourselves?
A juicy what?
That's Juicy Lucy right there.
Juicy. It's a juicy Lucy. Boys, when we were sitting around trying to come up with an idea for this week's episode, there was something that kind of stood out to me, and I'm kind of surprised that we've never done this before because it's such an obvious topic, but sometimes the obvious eludes us. And
As soon as you said it, I was like, "The fuck?
Yeah.
Why haven't we done this?"
yeah, like I don't think we've ever done this, and maybe we may have mentioned it like ever so slightly in passing once or
We
twice,
definitely probably,
but I don't think we've.
thought about doing this, but it was probably us talking while we were doing this, and we never wrote it down. It was probably
Probably.
that's or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's probably where this kind of blossomed from. But today we're going to be talking about cursed movies. Now, I'm not talking about The Ring or any of that shit where you just go put a VHS on and then the next thing you know, you're going to die in 7 days. No, I'm talking about movies.
She has went digital now. She has a website.
Are you serious?
Have you not watched the
Is
third
that
one?
like part of the new? Nope. I've watched the first one. That was it. I
Listen,
I
I'll
didn't
say
like
this.
that movie to begin with.
Hold on. The second one, not the best, but the third one, even though somebody does decide, oh, we're going to just put it on the internet, it's a great movie. I suggest you check it out.
Okay, maybe I will.
Yeah,
You know what? I may have seen the second
from
one.
VHS to being on the internet, Chad. So she's
Of course,
she's
it
racking
does.
up numbers now, baby.
Of course she is. She's getting
She's-
the views, more views
She's
than
busy.
me.
That goddamn calendar's full.
But I'm talking about real curses, like And there's some on here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way because I just didn't want to cover it because I feel like it's been done to death. The Crow. We're not gonna be talking about the Crow. I don't think that that's a curse. I think that was just a freak accident and shit just went sour.
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's my 2 cents. You know, that could have happened to anybody. In fact, look at Rust. Happened on the set of Rust. Shit happens, and it sucks. But
We're talking about Baldwin again?
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. But anyway, moving on. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in curses, or maybe that just some things should not be fucked with? Are some things just that
I
sacred?
can tell you somebody that does believe in curses.
100%. 100%.
Because he can't say that he
No.
believes in the Egyptian curses and then not believe in modern day curses.
No, I believe in modern day curses. I believe in old school curses. I mean, I believe it in all. You know, and you can even throw in that meme suits from the Mummy. Stupid,
I
superstitious
would even-
bastard. That's me.
Stupid. I would even say,
Oh, Lord.
is that why you've never done any curse-like spells, have you?
No, I have not, because they come back threefold. It is not something that I believe in.
But you believe that they can happen.
I do believe that they can definitely happen. Yes.
So, do you think that? What do you think causes these curses to happen? Like, what do you think? What's the root of a lot of these curses?
We're talking movie curses, or are we just talking curses in general?
Movie curses, just curses in general. Like, we're going to be talking about movie curses, but I kind of want to give the audience just a little bit of an idea of maybe where a curse can stem from, so that way maybe we can try to figure out amongst us what caused some of the curses in these movies.
I will go ahead and say that we all as humans have magic in us, and people who are listening, if you roll your eyes, then you shouldn't be here in the first place. We all have magic in us that is untapped. Through time, throughout what they teach us in school, they don't teach us how to tap into those chakras and magic, but we have it all in us to where if you really believe in something strong enough, hard enough, or you have hatreds for something strong enough, which was where, you know, you see gypsy curses and things like that come into play, you can make it manifest into happening. You can put that out into this earth to where it's like, this has got to happen. And then all you do, sometimes you can even make it a blood curse, just add that and boom, there you go. And I truly 100% believe that you can put it out there enough, if you really believe in it enough, to make it something that is going to latch on to you.
I agree with that.
So manifestation.
It's about your will.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that.
So yeah, manifestation. I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I would go as to say that. I would go as far as to say that there are probably people out there that have stronger magic in them, manifestation, whatever the hell, in them than they realize, and they probably have accidentally brought something bad on somebody by thinking about it, hoping for it, not like, you know, chanting. They're probably not even into like casting spells or anything, but
They probably don't even know they can do it.
right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you got to think of it like this too, and I believe this firmly too, that because we've had ancestors, maybe not everybody, but some people have had ancestors who were firmly believing in like magic and practice things like that back in the day, and that's a thing that does get passed down through genes. I truly believe.
I mean,
So you could have it in you and not know it. This is a horrible example, and I know you guys are probably both going to laugh, but look at Halloween Town. Marnie just knew something was there, and she didn't know it. And so, I mean, for real though, like,
that's a good example. I mean, honestly, just being a broad perspective, a broad outlook. If you have any ancestors in your past that were from certain areas, more than likely they were probably pagans, because it's like the oldest. Well, not the oldest. One of the oldest, especially in Europe. Religions, and if that was the case, then they were definitely believing in fucking magic.
Yeah, curses, all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
It's a curse. The curse.
That would avoid whole fucking land masses, whole mountains, just because they thought that there were curses.
Just because of the superstition. Yeah. Yeah.
Which brings us back to the mummy. Jeremy, what was it again?
Yeah, so stupid, superstitious bastards. But one final thing on that too, before we dive into what we're going to dive into, the best example to people who don't believe in curses, I want them to go look into every individual who dug up King Tut's tomb and look at what happened to them. Every single one of them.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was going to be the first frame of reference that I used
good
when
lead-in
talking about
because,
curses because it's something.
Some of the other movies
like
follow
that
suit.
alone makes me believe. Yeah. Like don't fuck with that Egyptian stuff. No. Like, that's not a game. It's not a joke. So today, like I said, wanted to talk about these cursed movie sets. So first up, I wanted to drag this one out into the spotlight head first because it's not exactly Halloween related, but it is a curse nonetheless. This curse is frequently associated with the DC film Superman. Have you guys heard of the Superman curse at all?
Yes.
I've heard, but I've never. I don't know, like what.
Christopher Reeve
Yeah.
is the prime example.
What?
So
I don't realize what's going on here.
it's usually associated with George Reeves and Christopher Reeves. Ironically enough, both named Reeves, who starred in The Adventures of Superman back in 1952 to 1958, and Christopher Reeve, who played Superman for 4 theatrical films from 1978 to 1987. Both of these men suffered what's known as the Superman curse. Superman curse it's kind of weird because it didn't only affect those who played as Superman, but it's also affected those who have acted amongst the cast as a whole.
Right.
People played characters such as Lois and etc. down the line.
Well, some of these.
That's what
curses-
gets me about this one.
Yeah, some of these curses you go through. I mean, even the crew get affected.
Yeah. There's some that, the crew, I'm going to get to that one near the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really, really fucked up ones out there. With George Reeves actually dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the age of 45, and Christopher Reeves being flung from the back of a horse and paralyzed, only to die a short couple of years after that from complications with stomach cancer, I believe. So, I mean,
But
I think this one is definitely.
is it. What would
Go ahead.
be a curse? I don't understand. Like, what about
Well,
Superman? The Kryptonians?
Because everybody that portrays. Oh, so I see what you're saying. Like, well, that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Like, what is it about these movie sets? Like,
Yeah.
what is it about this specific
Yeah,
character
I don't.
that's
I know
causing this trend? I mean,
Well, I've
look
always
at Henry.
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Henry.
I was gonna say, look at Henry. Or here, what's his name? The new Superman.
Henry Cavill.
What's his name? Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know if the curse has affected him, but I mean, when you really sit down and think about it, his track record's kind of not been great since jumping on board because they keep replacing him and firing him and hiring him and firing him, and it's
The
like, to
Witcher's
me, that's no
probably
way
his
to.
He quit that.
Yeah.
And he's not even on that anymore.
Yeah. He
No,
left that.
he's not been injured or anything, and I don't hope the dude never gets
That was
injured.
his
But
own damn fault. I don't think that was a fucking curse. I think that was just him being.
well,
The thing that I've always heard about the Superman curse is because, and this is just people saying it, they think that it is not meant for someone to even play as in a movie or represent somebody who is just the embodiment of perfect. And I think this is where the kind of the Christianity thing comes in, because they're like, oh, it's the closest thing to God. And that's what I've always heard as far as the Superman curse. I don't know. I mean, with a curse like that, if it is a true curse, then who knows what it could be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no. See, that sounds just like a little too religious.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's coincidental with the Superman curse because Henry
Yeah.
Cavill's still kicking and doing decent as far as
Yeah.
minus his career.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that
Okay.
it's because he plays a character that is so strong, because then you would have to go back and like every time that Jesus was on screen, there should be a curse set there. You know what I mean? Like anytime somebody like
Well-
Passion of the Christ should be full of fucking curses.
It actually is on my list.
What?
Passion of the Christ is on my
Happened to Mel
list.
Gibson.
Yeah.
No, he's just
Yeah.
racist. That's got nothing to do with
Uh,
the curse. That's just like you saying all the Klan members are cursed. No, they're just racist.
This is actually a perfect segue moving into my next cursed film. The actor who portrayed Jesus, Jim, I cannot pronounce his name, Caviezel, was struck. Caviezel, is that it? Caviezel?
Yeah,
Jim Caviezel was struck by lightning while filming The Passion of the Christ, and on top of that, suffered heat strokes amongst other things during this time process. What the fuck? Like, tell me about it. It's what do you think? I mean, cursed? Is that a curse? It ties in perfectly with the Superman thing going on here, man. It's
Yeah.
like maybe Germ, you might be onto something with this.
Well, see, when it comes to that too, you know, like me personally, I'm not a Christian, but I believe every religion is correct in its own way, and I believe that there are multiple gods no matter what
Yeah,
religion.
yeah.
So I think that when it comes down to it, maybe they got a little
So-
too close with the religious aspect.
Just to put a button on that real quick, you don't have to believe in any specific religion, because there's one thing that every single one of them have in common, is that there's one really powerful something
Yeah.
that made all of us. So no matter what it is.
And they were-
So maybe,
So
regardless of being Christian, Catholic, pagan, whatever, maybe that
Mhm.
something is like, hey, you need to quit the movie
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Let's stop that. I'm
You're playing
distracted.
too close to the vent.
Let
Yeah,
me hit you
yeah.
with the fucking lightning bolt and show you who's boss. Hey, Mel Gibson.
let me talk to you. Yeah. it's
Let me talk.
it's
to
Oh yeah.
let me talk to you. So I think what really kind of gets me about like a lot of these curses and even just acknowledging the fact, it's so weird to me that so many people still to this day will acknowledge the existence of evil, but they won't acknowledge the existence of something good. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but
Like I'm not saying specifically that I believe in either way, but I'm saying it's always strange to me that we only acknowledge the existence of pure evil.
I personally, I don't know if I believe in it like that.
Well, see, like what you're saying is we acknowledge the pure evil, but at the same time, if you hear a lot of people too, they don't necessarily acknowledge a curse anymore. They'll just be like you said, oh, that's pure evil, and that's the greater good is just it's showing them up, it's showing you what's right. It's like, so it's a curse, and they're like, oh, there's no such thing as curse. You just described basically something like a curse. So, like, I
Yeah.
wonder why they wanted to take that word and that aspect out of modern day.
Because all of it's the devil. It's just the devil.
It's all the devil. It's
Randy.
I don't know, man. It's
The devil.
what? The devil.
Ben Franklin is the
Um,
devil. Your mother invented electricity.
Been electricity. Oh man. You know, I've got my fair share of opinions on this stuff, and I think that it's, you know, it's highly possible that maybe something out there is telling these people to cut it the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
that could even represent ancient alien people. Maybe it's an alien, and he's like, "Hey, motherfucker."
Yeah,
He's like,
It's
"Ah!"
like, no, yeah, it's like no more.
maybe our inner being.
I mean, I just think it's very ironic.
Oh god, here we go.
I think it's just very ironic that, you know, you get struck by lightning while making something like that. Like, and the odds of getting struck by lightning are significantly low
Uh-huh.
in
I don't know. Have
retrospect.
you seen that video of that dude that got hit twice in a row?
Oh, that was nuts.
A lot of people think that it's fake.
He
A
lived.
lot of people are saying it's fake.
He pulled
I
his
don't
pants
know.
up and walked.
You're gonna have a fucking stutter. You're gonna develop Tourette's out of nowhere. Some gold dust shit.
My
What,
God.
what?
You know?
Dude, he probably could have Uncle
I-
Fostered a light bulb after that shit. He probably could have.
Maybe.
That would have been cool.
I don't know. I question that video.
See, now I'm eager to see what else you got on this list.
I've got a few more here. I'm just trying to pull up my links because I don't want to mislead. Next up is one of my personal favorite horror films of all time, The Poltergeist Curse. Now, some people have probably heard of this one. If you haven't, then you're about to. What do you guys know about The Poltergeist Curse?
I know a lot. I know the little girl did not make it. I know. Well, hell, both girl siblings didn't make it. Right in life.
Well, didn't make it's an understatement.
For the older sister, yeah, that would ended bad.
Yeah, that one's fucked.
I think Craig T. Nelson
Also,
was the only
Julia
one
Beck
walked
and
away.
Will Sampson.
Huh?
Yeah. Craig T. Nelson. He's still going, right? Like, he's still alive?
Yeah, well,
What was he
he's
in
a Devil's
recently?
Advocate. Yeah, he's the only one that didn't.
Yeah, he's still going. He's still rocking.
Rocking.
Yeah. So he's doing something.
He's alive.
He's still out there doing his thing. He's alive. So a lot of people think that this curse stemmed from the fact that Steven Spielberg may or may not have used real corpses on the set because, in his words or supposed words, allegedly, it was cheaper to use real corpses versus prosthetics. I don't believe this for a minute,
I guess
personally.
it would be cheaper if you're
because
stealing the corpses. If you're stealing them,
well, that's the thing. If you're stealing them, then yeah, then that might
we
explain
did
why.
steal a tombstone at one point in time.
I kind of, but that wasn't like from someone's grave.
No.
That wasn't.
It was from the back of a funeral home.
No.
No, it was an unused.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Why'd you even
Don't get that twisted. Yes, that's. I kind of forgot that was a thing until you.
That was
just
for a
said
haunted
that.
house too. We were trying to
yeah,
save money,
that-
baby. We were trying to save some cashola.
It was no, but anybody listening, it was nobody's tombstone. It was just an unused one. getting
It was
thrown out
yeah.
anyway.
It was.
Well, it
it,
wasn't
nothing was
somebody's tombstone
carved. It
yet.
was really just the marble.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh God.
It might have
Now
been
I
on
feel weird.
pre-order. It might have been like a limited edition.
Anyway,
Oh
limited
no. Limited edition.
Holographic,
But unfortunately, actors Heather O'Rourke, who actually played, I guess she was the main antagonist, Carol Ann, in all three films. She actually made it through all three films, but then at 6 years old, she died of undiagnosed digestive tract issues in 1987. So that's kind of a bummer, man.
And the older
She's
sister,
just
though.
a kid.
yeah, that was
Dominic Dune, or she played the older sister. This is fucked up. She separated from her partner John Sweeney in November of that year. He showed up at her house, pleading for her to take him back. When he grabbed her neck and basically choked her to death in her driveway. Yeah.
He probably
It's
didn't.
fucked.
He probably also. I'm not saying that this is the reason for it. Obviously, the man had some issues, but he probably also did not like the scene where the construction workers are trying to get with the 17-year-old.
no bad taste.
They go, "Hey, look at that!" And she goes, "Oh, Mom, they're laughing at me again." She goes, "Oh, stop! You're just getting to be a woman."
Oh God. I don't even this movie.
Did they-
Everybody overlooked
Anyway.
it. Like in the 80s, it was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I mean, you had Christine 16. You had she's only 17. So the 80s they didn't give two shits. But
They
you watch it
didn't
back
give any
now, and
shit.
you kind of go, "Ooh."
So
Didn't they also?
here's
have,
something interesting about.
Well, go ahead.
I'll go. No. I was just gonna finish up. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say, didn't they have
'Cause-
Things Catch Fire? Or is that a different movie set I'm thinking of?
That is a different movie set.
Okay.
Yes, but you're on the right track. A thing about Sweeney was actually he was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, but he only served 3.
What?
Yeah, he killed her. Only served 3. I'm assuming this kind of went along the lines of that crime of passion
So
stuff.
wait, this man is still out
I-
living his life.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Not fair, man.
Hey, Mr.
Sure is,
Sweeney,
he sure
if you
is.
hear us,
Back.
Go fuck yourself.
we're just reporting
Uh,
facts. We no accusations. Here. Just
That's right. Allegedly.
No,
Allegedly.
no, this happened. You,
No,
you,
yeah,
you
it
went to
happened.
you went to jail. For it.
no.
Can't really get around.
No. I mean, yeah. Anyway, Julianne Beck and Will Sampson, the other two cast members' deaths, while unfortunate, were not as unpredicted or mysterious. The evil preacher Kane from Poltergeist 2, who was played by Julianne Beck, died in 1983, not even 2 weeks before the movie was released in theaters, diagnosed with stomach cancer. And
A lot of stomach issues on this.
a lot of stomach
Yeah.
issues, a lot of stomach things going on there, which is almost kind of strange because I feel like a lot of the sequences in the first movie relate to giving birth. I don't know if that's just ironic.
Wouldn't be that water
Whatever.
they had her submerged in, getting mouthfuls. If there were real skeletons, and she's just in there going formaldehyde in her mouth.
Ugh. You never know. The same film was met with further tragedy after Will Sampson, who actually played the Native American shaman, died after undergoing a heart lung transplant, which had an already very slim survival rate. So, other strange happenings on set where, the creepy legends surrounding the films. Jo Beth Williams, who played the mother in the first two films, claimed that director Steven Spielberg insisted on using the actual human skeletons, of course. And finally, in an effort to further creep everyone out, Sampson, the real-life medicine man who passed away due to the circumstances mentioned before, performed an authentic exorcism after shooting had wrapped on the second film on one of the cast members.
That's
See, now it's like, and this was the second film. You already know because the daughter from the first film, she got strangled after the first film, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
I think she's recast in the second one.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you already know something's up, and then you hear about the skeletons in the first one, and you're going to go out and do an exorcism,
a real one.
a real one.
He's a shaman doing a real shaman's exorcism. I thought he could have filmed a Skinwalker and he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some fucked stuff. I think Poltergeist to me is probably one of the most cursed films
I beg
on
to
this
differ.
list.
I beg to differ. I think that this next one that's on your list is the most cursed one, and I haven't even seen your list,
Yeah.
but I know what's on it.
Yeah.
The next one's pretty cursed. The next one, The Omen.
Oh,
Now no one was.
We're going.
Yeah, no one was seriously hurt during the filming of this film. This was filmed in 1976, but chaos continued to surround every single actor and every single cast member that was involved, specifically star Gregory Peck and screenwriter David Seltzer. They both had their flight struck by lightning while on their way to film, and director Richard Donner's hotel room was bombed by the IRA right after all of this incidents, like within the same week, within the same time frame.
Omen remake get any shit? Did part 2 get any shit?
I have not looked that up, but I am curious
Did
to see
Julia
if maybe
Stiles get a hemorrhoid on the way to because she was in,
Julia
wasn't she in the
Stiles.
remake?
She's in the remake.
Yeah, she was the mom in the remake.
I don't think it.
I don't know.
I know because this is the one that where
The hemorrhoid curse.
if I'm not mistaken, it could have been the other film that you probably have on your list. But was this the one where just incidentally the building was like 666 or whatever, or maybe the set caught on fire?
That-
No, you're still thinking of the other one. You're still
Okay.
thinking of.
Well, I mean, on this one, didn't like the set
Well-
catch on fire on the Omen?
Nope.
No,
That's the other one.
other.
See, okay, yeah.
It's the big one. It's the OG, baby.
It's the OG. I think it is the most
Okay.
cursed. I'm just gonna get into
let's
it.
go.
I'm just gonna jump right into it. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, anything interesting?
Well, several of the cast members were actually involved in car accidents, which took their lives
Oh,
on the set of The Omen. I think The Omen is one of those. I get uneasy feelings watching The Omen.
I do too, which is the reason
Um,
that you don't hear me talk a lot about. I mean, it didn't fuck with me as much as The Exorcist did, but
No, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
I think the dog
But
scene is the most uneasiest when the dog's in the cemetery.
It's pretty. That's where things kind of start to get a little weird. And there's a scene where somebody gets killed with like a slab of glass, which is pretty wild.
Oh yeah. That was always really cool.
And then the spear comes through. You know.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's hardcore.
It's all
That
for
movie
you,
pulled no
Daddy.
punches. Oh,
That was a good scene.
Man. Yeah, it's a good movie. Really, really good movie. I got two more on here.
Okay.
I'll be quick with this next one. Germ, this is actually your. I don't know if I would say this is your favorite movie, but this is the movie that you personally said was in your opinion, possibly the greatest film ever made. The Wizard of Oz.
Oh yes, yes. I mean, now that I think about back on that statement, I may have some others, but that's not the argument here. But I do agree that it's possibly one of the greatest films ever made, and there were some crazy things. Because growing up, dude, as a kid, that was my favorite movie. So then once I became a teenager and learned the curses of this movie, it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm not going to get into all of them just because it's for time's sake, but I'm going to talk about a few that we truly. One of them, I don't even know if it's ever been truly confirmed or not. They say that you can actually see one of the Munchkins hang themselves, but I don't think that it's true.
No, you can see it, but it was they have went back and they've disproved it. They said that it's not him hanging; it's a prop.
It's a bird.
That's what it was. It was one of the birds that they had on set. It was loose.
It escaped from it.
I don't know, man. It looks like I see them little feet dangling.
I mean,
it does look a little weird.
Amputee bird that they got flying around.
No, but half the time they have their feet shoved up their ass, so like it's like they got their knees.
Maybe he's landing. He's hovering.
Well, didn't the witch's shit catch fire or something?
Margaret Hamilton, this is another curse. Margaret Hamilton actually burned herself, almost died from this burn at the very beginning of shooting the film, right when she's about to disappear and make her grand exit, and the red smoke comes up. Suffered like life-threatening burns, almost died right there, and yet they kept filming.
And the Tin Man had an allergic reaction and almost died from the makeup.
To the makeup, yeah, they just kept going, man. They didn't stop. That's some of these films, they really make you question. They're like, why keep going after something like that?
Look at the
because that's some.
Look at the masterpiece that came out of it. Like, I mean, for real. I mean, I know it's fucked up to say, but I mean, it.
No, you're right.
But all of that effort just to be like, look, your TV has color now.
Hey, but hold on.
I know how they did it. I know it was huge because they were playing it and everybody's watching it, and they're like, "Oh, it's just black and white, cool, no big deal." And then all of a sudden, it went.
But still, to this day, it is considered, and I don't even understand why with this holiday. But every Thanksgiving, this movie is on TV. So,
that's interesting.
So is the Matrix.
I'm a Lord of the Rings guy when Thanksgiving.
The Matrix is always on Thanksgiving, baby.
No.
Yeah, I love watching a good Lord of the Rings film on Thanksgiving. I feel like it sets
always
the
on.
mood.
The Matrix trilogy is always on.
Star Wars.
Okay, but that's what I'm
around
saying.
Christmas.
This is one of those. How many movies are you going to see from 1940s, that are still around every year on TV? That's what I'm trying to say. You don't see Gone with the Wind.
That's fair.
Okay,
that's a fair.
So
assessment.
it was cursed, but I still couldn't think of a reason why Wizard of Oz would be cursed. Are you telling me that just like maybe the ancestors of like.
No, and hold
on,
and
there were
Judy Garland.
She was a drug addict.
No, that was the biggest curse of them all.
I mean,
think about it.
The producers,
they're dealing with witches and things like that.
The producers and the directors got Judy Garland in the shape that she was in, but I'm saying like that's not really a curse. That's just, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's Hollywood.
Well, hold on, and it's not even just that. And you know what, boys? I'm sorry I bring it up every episode, but maybe this curse does stem from another thing because the book itself came from the idea of the Hollow Earth theory.
Oh, fuck me! Here we go again.
Yes,
you're really on that Hollow Earth.
buddy, I've been reading it.
He's geared up for summer
Wonderland
adventure.
came from a man that was on acid.
But no, it came from the Hollow Earth theory as well. Both of those did.
Yeah, he was on acid.
What?
Yes.
Does everything come from Hollow Earth?
That's what Jeremy's book says, but I don't think that dude's an acclaimed New York selling author. I think
Anyway.
that he's just.
No, it's the guy that found Haley's Comet, created the whole. Anyway, we'll get there in the future.
Okay,
Continue.
yeah, sorry.
We'll get there. Summer of Adventure, folks, coming soon.
Oh yes.
This is the one that you boys have been waiting on. It's the big one, the coup de grace,
The most
the
current.
magnum opus. In my opinion, it's still one of the scariest films of all time. You know it, you love it, The Exorcist. Where do I start?
Give us the
'Cause
rundown, baby.
this-
I'm
it's-
gonna not
it's
interrupt.
It's a fucking laundry list.
I won't-
I'm just gonna.
Yeah, go ahead, give him the rundown because I want everybody to hear.
Okay, so 9 people connected with this film died before it was even completed. 9. The first person to die was actor Jack McGrawer. He played the fictional director in the film, Burt Dennings.
Seems to be an alien pubic hair in my drink. Never seen it before in my life, have you?
Mark Allen
Nazi!
didn't die in real life by having his head twisted around like a wind-up crank, but he died from complications of the flu. A little weird.
He had
What she did?
to my knowledge, he was supposed to have a bigger role than he did.
Well,
But I mean, obviously, he
Yeah.
died. But I'm saying like that was the intention.
Well, in the book, I think he did.
Yeah, exactly. He was supposed to have a bigger role. And let's be real, out of a movie that is extremely scary and sometimes depressing, he had the 2 best lines in the entire fucking movie.
you want to hit me with one?
You know what she did?
Your hunting daughter, dude. That scene still fucks with me to this day.
Wait, am I not?
I
Is
can
not
never
the
get
director that does the alien pubic hair.
He does that too, but
Yeah.
that's his voice. That
Yeah, and he's
using.
also the one that gets choked in the kitchen, and he goes, "You goddamn Nazi!" Yeah, and he was playing "Shake That Ass" on the piano.
No, that's shit.
No, that's a different
Nobody-
movie.
nope.
That's a.
Hold on. So how did he die? Like, did it say what happened? Or
He died of the flu.
Okay.
He actually died with complications of the flu.
Shit, that sucks.
Sorry, continue with.
So moving on, there were several background actors that passed away from deaths, as well as the night watchmen and the special effects makeup artist as well. If the deaths weren't enough to convince you that this film is cursed, there was also a murderer thrown into the mix. Does anybody have the name of this murderer?
I know it was.
I do,
doctor.
but I just want to. He was the radiologist
Yes.
tech.
Yeah.
Paul
Is he the?
Bateson.
No, he's the one that's is he the one that says you ever thought about exorcism? Or is he just the one putting?
It's been a
his-
while
He said,
since
okay,
he-
Reagan, you're gonna feel a little prick right here. Like, is
Is
that?
it that, or is
I
he
think-
the
I
one that
think-
said she told me to keep my fingers away from her,
No, I don't think.
blankety
that's,
blank?
No, I don't think that was.
Or was it the guy that she spit on whenever she's getting ready to get a shot?
That's just the same
You
dude.
fucking bastard!
No. That's,
Oh, okay, sorry.
I think it's the guy that puts the machinery on her.
Yeah, it's he's the radiologist.
Oh, when she
he's
gets
the
in
radiologist.
It's like, I don't know, guys.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
That's
It's
all I can tell you. He's the radiologist.
it's been a long time since I've seen the movie. I'll be honest. The reason why I haven't seen the movie in a long time is because it's another one of those movies that makes me fucking uneasy to watch. I love the movie. I just think it's fucking weird. It's uneasy and
They
it
put her
just
in
kind of.
Cerebro.
I don't even have. They put her in Cerebro, and I don't even own a copy. And you know me, I'm an avid physical collector. I do not own a copy of that movie in my collection.
And
I do.
I'm terrified, Chad. It ruined my childhood, and I still do.
I know what I'll be watching tonight, boys.
Oh God.
There you go. Have at it. Like I said again, I think it's phenomenal. It's a perfect film in my honestly. But yeah, so yeah, the prison records show that Bateson was actually released on parole August 25th of 2003 after serving a sentence of 24 years, and after that, he disappeared without a trace. So he's out there.
So I feel like we may have like cut you off at some point. So like just reiterate
Mhm.
again. So he was a serial killer, correct?
He was a serial killer. I don't exactly have his file pulled up because I didn't like dive into him specifically, but I do know that he was a psychopath. Like he was a straight up serial
He
killer.
didn't kill anybody on set though, right?
No, I think to my knowledge,
No,
it was
no, it was
anywhere
nothing
from like
of that
5
nature.
to 8 people, and I could be wrong on the numbers, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it's somewhere in that.
Could you imagine if he had hid bodies on set though? Like how crazy that shit would have been.
I don't know. There's a possibility. Let's see. Let's move it along here. Whew, I don't
Like
know,
Father
man.
Carrot's body was really somebody that he'd killed instead of it being a stunt
so. So I mean, the actual case, as everybody knows, involves a boy and all that fun stuff. But a lot of people believe that the case could have potentially, the Ronald Doe case could have potentially carried over to the set, cursing it along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
think so too.
I
she
think
was
that's
playing with a Ouija board. It's
Yeah.
not like it was a fake one. She was playing with
Yeah,
a Ouija
yeah.
board, talking. I mean, like she's going. "Rrr." I mean, but still, she's moving it around. She's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. It's, I mean, okay. It's so Jason Miller, one of the actors of the film, of course, was actually approached on the street by a real priest while filming the movie. And the priest had no knowledge of the film whatsoever at the time of shooting it and issued him a warning saying that he wasn't so sure about this and that the devil was a trickster with slick ambitions. Think about that for a minute. Now, this priest had no idea what the hell they were filming.
I mean, see, that's when it comes back to like I believe, no matter what it is out there, there is true evil, and people, whether it be priests, monks, or whatever, they can communicate with that and sense that kind of stuff. So I believe that the presence was over the set, and this individual was so happened just to feel it walking by this dude.
I mean, if it was a strong enough presence,
Yeah.
it could have been latched onto the entire crew, which is
Exactly.
why you had crew members' wives, babies die whenever they were pregnant and stuff like that. Is that not another account? I thought that was somebody's wife was pregnant, she lost the child.
It's probably in there. There's a lot. Like I said, I'm not going to be
It
able
was
to cover
like one
them
of the
all.
fucking cameramen, if I'm not mistaken. He's not even like fully doing anything.
But this is where the set caught on fire,
Yeah.
correct?
Correct. So, oh man, my audio just like
Reagan's
spiked.
spine was fucked up.
Yeah. So those were the other two things I wanted to cover. One was Linda Blair broke her back due to a malfunction in the animatronics of the bed. I mean, that delayed production for 6 weeks. You would think eventually that right there, your main actress getting fucked up would be enough to cause this film to just kind of go into a halt for a little while. Didn't
Consider
stop
they
there.
strapped her to a goddamn rodeo bull and just fucking let her.
It didn't stop there because right immediately after that, right before getting back on set, the fucking set caught fire in the McNeil house, burning everything down except Reagan's bedroom. That was the only thing
Now, was
that survived the
I know
fire.
it sounds creepy, but was that because they had the entire room refrigerated?
I doubt that fire. I doubt that that's going to stop.
I mean,
I
it
think
keeps
there's
the temperature-
something.
It keeps the temperature down, boys.
Yeah, but
I
Like a
think
whole
there's
building
some
catching
more
on fire, but the
sinister
deep freezer
shit.
doesn't burn up.
look at lava when it goes into the ocean.
Yeah, but I'm just what?
I mean, maybe it does have something to do with the refrigerations. I don't know. I'm not a.
That favored my statement.
Yeah, never mind. The lava thing, just don't ignore that one.
The cold air stopped it.
Okay, but no, that is freaky though, because that's where everything takes place in the movie. You know,
It does, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, no.
It's ground zero.
Mhm.
Wasn't there a fax machine that caught on, or a printer inside of the studio that caught on fire as well as they were?
I thought it kept printing something.
Oh
like,
yeah, it kept printing like sixes or something. It was something crazy like that.
Well, I didn't see that. That's not on my
Chad,
list. That's
I know you've got a
that's
list,
weird.
but there's a documentary that you need to watch, dude.
Oh no, I would love to sit down and watch the documentary if I can get the balls to watch it. Again, like I said, this movie is very. Looking at this article made me uneasy. Like there's just an uneasy vibe to The Exorcist through and through, which is why I put The Omen and The Exorcist at the bottom of my list, or well, top of my list, but at the end because I don't like talking about
really
these movies.
That old Southwest Virginian scare tactic really got you boys as kids. Hey,
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. I can't say that I'm a fan of Wizard of Oz. It's just not my cup of tea. School ruined that movie for me. But anyway, those are some of the freakier things that happened across movie sets. Of course, I didn't want to talk about The Crow. Honorable mentions to that movie because that's fucked up. But you know, there's a lot more out there that I didn't mention. Like I went through tons.
The tip of the iceberg. Honestly, this was us trying to brush through them, because whenever Chad first pitched this idea, I was first like, oh well, I mean, honestly, with how this is, we could do The Exorcist have its own episode. We could do The Wizard of Oz, Poltergeist, like because there's so much detail.
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough detail for them to make separate documentaries on all of this shit. Guys.
which leads
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
Which leads me to my final statement, and not y'all's if y'all got something else. But my final statement is, with David Gordon Green remaking The Exorcist, I think we need to keep an eye out on to see if maybe there will be anything freaky happening on the set of this. You know.
I think nowadays with the amount of Exorcist type movies, see, The Exorcist at the time was very unique. It was unprecedented, groundbreaking. No one had ever seen anything quite like it. Even The Omen, I would go as far to say nobody had ever seen anything quite like it. Now these things are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
I feel that evil things, and maybe I'm going a little drastic with this, but when you put evil things under a fine-tooth comb with a microscope, it doesn't want its presence to be known as much.
But once you make
It's when things are not as oversaturated.
yeah.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just the fact that they were fucking with, like, they're really, The Exorcist was based off of, I mean, like, I know that you've got other movies like
Exorcism, Emily
Rose and stuff like that, but there's also proof,
Yeah.
there's a lot of proof that says that the Emily Rose thing was fake as well. I mean, there's a lot of proof that favors it. One of my point is that this case with this boy, this child, the real one, it really happened, and there was no rhyme or reason. There was no like he was seeking media coverage or anything like that. It just fucking happened.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
whatever
happened.
was possessing him was just like a really strong thing. And the only statement that I've got to end this whole my part of this is to say what. Reiterate what Jeremy said is, I think that the only curse that's going to happen on the new Exorcist is the fact that they've got Mr. Green as their director, and that's the only curse that they fucking need.
Well, real quick,
Damn.
with what Chad said, as far as during the time, you know, a lot of that evil hadn't been put into Hollywood, and it was just getting, you know, out there, and now it seems as, and I don't try to sound like some preacher or nothing, but evil is everywhere in the world right now.
No, not according to Gordon Green. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well,
It's coming.
that's going to wrap up another episode of the Halloween 365 podcast.
Look at that. We gave you a long one, baby.
Gave you a long one, a beefy one. I could have kept going, but there's, like I said, if you want to see more about The Exorcist or any of these cursed films, go out there, listen to this episode first, then go out and do some research for yourself, because it's out there, man. There's a ton of stuff, tons of stuff that we didn't even scrape the bottom of the barrel of.
Do your own research. There's a lot of creepy things, and like I said, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that happened with crew. Like, we'll focus on the actors and directors and stuff, but the crew had shit that happened. So yeah, look into it.
The crew, yeah.
And if you like this episode enough, and you'd like to maybe sometime in the future hear a part 2 on a deeper dive of one of these, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to do like a deep dive on one subject in particular, especially Poltergeist. That one really intrigues me. But yeah, as always, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us everywhere you can get your podcast, Spotify, you name it. We're everywhere, baby. We're everywhere. Episodes come at you every single Wednesday. And I don't have anything else to say other than keep it spooky out there, folks. We'll see you next time.